Let me just, I want to read this. In the book of St. John, I'm getting away. I want to read this. Book of St. John, the 6th chapter. The people was cracking on Jesus. They wanted him to prove he was God. Prove that you're God. We saw the loaves and the fish. Isn't it amazing? God will do things in our life, and how soon do we forget? In the book of St. John, the 6th chapter, they was asking him to do signs. And, you know, I'm going to share something with y'all, church. If you don't believe God for who he is, doesn't matter what he does. I'm going to share something with you. How many know he's done some things for you? I mean, you saw it evident. But if you don't believe him for who he is, you won't believe God. What he does. I've seen God do some miraculous things. But do you know every day I have to get up and make myself believe God. I have to make myself, I believe that you're God. I have to make him God. I can't, it just doesn't happen over what you see done. You got to make him God. He was talking in the 6th chapter. I'm going to just pick up on the 38th verse. He said, for I have come down from heaven, not to do my own will, but the will of him who sent me. And this is the will of the Father who sent me, that all he has given me I should lose nothing, but should rise it up at the last day. And this is the will of him who sent me, that everyone who sees the Son and believes in him may have everlasting life, and I will raise him up at the last day. I mean, Jesus was talking about the will. I'm the kind of guy, though, I look behind. I'm the kind of guy that'll look under the carpet to see the dirt. Y'all looking at me. That's the kind of person I am. I hear you. There's something else. Any of y'all like that? No. I hear you. If it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true. Something's up. I've come to do the will. That's good. And trying to figure I tried to figure Jesus out when I got saved. Is he God or is he man? Is he God, man? When I'm the kind of guy that would read into something. Have you ever read into something? You know, face value is good, but there's something else behind this thing. I read in the book of, I'm going to grab this here, in the book of Matthew, the 26th chapter. Turn there. I had to, when I first read this thing kind of perturbed me. And then God had to do something for me to show me. Do you know that God will talk to you and show you behind the line? Because if you need to know, he'll show you. Look at this here in the 26th chapter. And we're going to pick up at the 39th verse. This blessed me tremendously once he showed it me. 26 and 39. Do you have it? Yeah. And he went a little further and fell on his face and prayed, saying, Oh, my Father, if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. If it be possible. Now, what's hard for, is there anything too hard for God? Now, here's what blew my mind. God asked God. God asked God. But then the equation was he took God out of the equation himself and he became a man. Church, come on. This is going to bless us. if it be possible, let this cup pass from me. When I looked at that, I said, why would Jesus ask God to have the cup pass from him? Because from the foundation of the earth, this was the plan. For those that don't know, God made us, but he knew we was going to do what we did. He knew Adam was going to sin. He knew it. It wasn't like Adam pulled the wool over God's eye, like, I want to go sin and see what God can fix. You can't do, what can you do that God has not already fixed? For those that don't know, he's already at the end of the book. Right today, he's at the beginning of the book. He's right now today, and he's at the end of the book. So there's nothing that he don't know. But for Jesus to ask God, if it's possible, let the cup pass. And then he humbled himself and said, nevertheless, not as I will, but as thy will. Well, from study, I found out that this would be the first and only time that God would separate himself from God. He would separate. That means he would die and separate himself. Also, he would take upon himself sin. Knowing that God could not look on sin, that meant he would not be in the presence of God. He would be totally separated from God. I looked at that, and the more I looked at that, I said to myself, why in the world? Church, I want to share something with you. I do have agape love at best. But there's a line. You ever heard that? There's a thin line between love and hate. How many ever heard that song? There's a thin line. I can like you today and don't care a hoot about you today. Not tomorrow, today. Y'all looking at me like, see, I'm going to tell you what, you might as well come clean or stay away dirty. A brother preached that message. Come clean or stay away dirty.